Right. Give me a sec, boys and girls. No music. And those of you who don't know, we can't afford music in this house. I got a weird notice from YouTube, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. So for right now, I'm not using music. You'll have to tolerate my annoying voice as we start. Hello, everybody. Hello, Brad. Hello, Chobe. Judy, Nannies. Hello, hello, everybody. Hello, hello. We are right about to get started. Well, let's go into this for now, so I'm not gonna forget. Mic is working, all good. All right, let's go. I've been trying to get to do this earlier today, but it seemed like out of nowhere the Discord started raining tickets, so I was trying to rush through everything to get to this as soon as possible. My apologies, it took so long. Here we are. Um, so before I tend to today, I want to just kind of take a look at yesterday, or rather 2 days ago. For example, I want you to be attentive that all in all, with all the noise and nonsense, what happened, it was we basically ended up exactly where we started. That's kind of why I say all of these things end up being a waste of time, because if you think about it, no one gained, no one lost anything. We are literally exactly where we were on the 16th, right? Today we're on the 18th. On the 16th, we were exactly the same place, arguing about the same sort of levels. As we normally do, let's focus on the technicals. We do know that today we're going to have the FOMC announcement. We spoke a little bit yesterday about what potentially can happen, whether it's going to be a 25 bips or 50 bips. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I mean, sure, 50 bips might indicate something, but at the end of the day, there is consensus to both sides, so it is really what the market will decide it is. Oftentimes, the argument is that the technicals are, or rather, the institutions are prepared for these sort of announcements. They, of course, have a plan at hand already, or already in the works, if you will, and subsequently they need to prepare for these events. And oftentimes, those who know how to analyze the market properly can recognize how the institutions are preparing. So let's go through the timelines and see exactly what we can see. Pardon me for that. I'll definitely have to set up my mute button for a sec, but that's later. For now, let's go over the technical. So here on the 5 minutes, again, we're skipping the 1 minute because it's gonna go up and down. So this, for example, means we're kind of bearish right now. Still could flip over, but let's take things at face value, as we often say. At face value, this is bearish. It is what it is. Let's expand to 5 minutes. 5 minutes is, since convergence, since we've done this, we are now technically bearish, although the direction is to the upside, so it's kind of a mix of the two. Plus, we know 5 minutes is not all that important in the sense that it's going to flip over again many more times. So we can maybe take a readout out of this, well, for the next 30 minutes, up to an hour for really good, for really, really good. This is bullish, obviously. There's no two ways about it. This is bullish. We're already in the body of the stochastic RSI, implying that we're moving to the upside. Is that certain? Well, hard to say. Let's see what it means on the 45 minutes. 45 minutes is oftentimes exactly that perfect time frame in between the hour and the 30 minutes. Gives us an idea which side to believe more, if that makes more sense to you. So let's look at the 1 hour, for example. 1 hour, all of them are, well, this is at face value becoming bullish because you have convergence, but remember, you are still in oversold territory. That means you are more bearish, right? You're basically getting mitigated effect on your bearish momentum. So that means you're overall still bearish. So this 30 minutes is almost, if you could see it the way it is, probably a fake out, and it's something that's going to break back down and will retain being oversold. And if we're going to see some bump right here, it's not necessarily going to represent an actual movement to the upside as much as retaining the same levels. Okay, meaning again, mitigated effect on the downside, that is basically usually will result with sideways with an inkling to the downside. It's almost like the tsunami is bearish, so the bullish little wave, all it can do is just mitigate slightly these effects. I don't know what's going on in the chat, and I hope I'm not missing anything. I do trust Nanny is, of course, keeping everything in order. Like. Yes. Like. Many like and subscribe and the bell and all that beautiful stuff if you want the channel to grow. I don't understand why YouTube is so. Yeah, it is. To notice me about these videos, it usually is. It gives me the notice about 15 minutes after the stream has started. Discord, YouTube notice. This is why I try to post on Discord, so everybody will know when I start, because YouTube is a bit problematic with that regard. I'm not sure why it's doing that. I'm not gonna lie, I often do get informed and do get a ping whenever Tom goes live, pretty much immediately. I don't know though. Maybe it has to do with the network, with what browser you're using. I have no clue what the refresh rate of the browser, that sort of stuff. Okay. Well, first of all, let me check real quick that I do have my sound set up and working right. Well, now it should be louder, but I don't know about breaking up. It should be fine, but just in case, I'm gonna close some stuff here to make it maybe potentially work smoother if it has anything to do with that. Nannies, again, thank you very much. Boys and girls, Discord, if you're not familiar with, if you found yourself somehow on this live by accident, there's the Discord, join in. You can hang out with us, talk, and get to know my views on the market in advance, if you will. Let's continue. We were on the 1 hour, and also we kind of got what I was talking about earlier when we were going through the week, sort of the week we had several examples of this. So it seems as if we're poised to go up, we're positioned to go up, and then we end up turning around and basically retaining what we would consider a downtrend, because this is still, remember, this is a linear tool, okay? It's a linear indicator. It's showing you the momentum, the actual momentum generated from a moving average based upon the volume and quickness of how quickly the market changes price, if you will, to put it in simple terms, and subsequently a moving average of the moving average. That is kind of what the tool is, and this is how we read it really. And so what it shows is the dissipating bullish momentum, and subsequently, of course, bearish. It's almost like if it's not going up, it's almost like a plane. If the engines are not working, or a helicopter, it's going to start dropping slowly, and that momentum is generated to the downside. Hello, my comrades. Murat, why can't you just do English? Why are you torturing me? All right, RG, thank you for letting me know. All right. Yeah, that does that sometimes when I reset the computer or stuff. It's just weird what it does with the volume. It's weird, but it does that. So still, we got this sort of retaining the downtrend, which we are able to see on the actual price action, sort of not all that surprising. And remember, we got into sort of the oversold territory, so to amplified territory, subsequently creating a lower channel, right, a lower zone for the channel, and next drop is going to take us again to that 56 area. It seems, at least for the time being here in the oversold territory. Once we switch over, once the bearish momentum gives way, bullish becomes dominant inherently, and we move to the downside. My downside expectation is to skip, well, not skip, but basically crash over the 56.16, 56.07, and actually make it all the way to 5600, where we have a little bit of a gap there to close. This one, you can see these little borders, and that's what we're going to get closed rather soon. That's what I can extrapolate from the 1 hour. Let's clean it all up a little bit, just so we're gonna see clear what we're doing and all that stuff is not gonna be in the way. And well, just to be sure I didn't do something dumb there. Okay, I didn't. All right, and we clean. Wait, are we clean? We're not really clean. Let's just make this clean. All right, now 1 hour. We said we've covered 1 hour. Let's go 4 hours. 4 hours didn't really change all that much since yet. Since yesterday, kind of what we were seeing yesterday, the switch over that convergence moment where we have the bullish basically give way to the bearish, then subsequently we become a little bit more bearish. It's something we were starting to see become very thematic, right? My expectation is, of course, that once we are done with this momentum, once we squeeze out whatever is left of it, we're going to look at the daily in a second, understand really how severe it really is, or is it really severe at all. Give way, of course, moving into the body, of course, subsequently accelerating to the downside, making our way to oversold, giving us the way of this correction. As we said, we spoke about this, we're probably going to be testing. Of course, there are two channels here. There's this channel, if you will, right? That's kind of the main channel we're testing right now. Let me highlight it a little bit better, like that. Maybe is that gonna be good? Yeah, well, that's gonna be good. Like kind of that's the channel we're doing. You can see the price action sort of testing that level. We can see the current resistances that we're talking about and relevant right here, right here. This is, of course, was a bit of a deviation, but then again, no wonder it ended up being on a very particular level. More so, I would argue that the channel here is far wider. It's actually something along the lines of this, which is 5200, as you can tell, right? It's just that the process is not necessarily straightforward. We don't just go up, down. We sometimes do have these smaller waves that are partially parts in between. So far, we actually have done what some people would consider, I've actually been asked that yesterday, whether this is a triple top. Yeah, sure, you can consider it as such. Usually these patterns are smaller patterns that people hyper focus for no good reason, that are internal, so it's not really all that good. I would prefer to focus on longer duration cycles or harmonic patterns, if you will, also deriving them from larger time frames. That way you can actually extrapolate what the actual trend is and not being misled or fooled by these temporary trends. Although I gotta say, this overall starts to look like a bit of a bullish pennant, which in essence is oftentimes a bullish mark, right? But that is just on that time frame, because once we start squeezing deeper and deeper, we're gonna realize the worse it looks, and it doesn't look as if this is a really bullish sign. Is much more of a outcome when you have there are certain partitions in the overall cycle that create these false positives, if you will, that make you see or hyper focus on the smaller patterns, not realizing that the larger pattern, which is far more dominant, actually stronger and actually taking you down to the downside. For example, why we see or forecast there is still might be, of course things might change, but we're conveniently positioned very, very well for the market to break later today. I've expected this to start breaking a little bit earlier. Those who've been following know I've expected it to start breaking right here. Since we've already crossed over, it kind of already made the structure. Does that mean that's it? It's canceled, and right now we go to, well, we are bullish, technically speaking, on that time frame, but I believe with the market price action that's going to come later today at around 2 o'clock, this can actually revert very, very rapidly. We're seeing kind of signs from both ends. Well, daily is a bit confusing. Let's do what we usually do in this instance. Look at the 4 hours, which gives us a bit of a bearish end, but more so what we know, what smells really, really bearish, and I've been talking about it all week, is the actual weekly chart. And in fact, it's looking worse and worse and worse with every day, pretty much, because again, you see that squeeze, sort of this acceleration towards the downside, which we will see finalized towards the end of the week, giving way once we are in oversold territory, amplifying momentum, giving us exactly what we expect, roughly these levels, the 52, 50, 100 that we spoke about earlier, right? Well, first 53, we see we need to test the 53 area, which is kind of in between, then only then break to the lower end. That is that, which is what we're seeing here on the weekly, right? This is just going to give us more time. Subsequently, we can result with more downside. Maybe it's too far, so it takes time to permission to get there. All right, that was a funny one, Johnny. All right, that's all right. You made me laugh there. Why we're also worried about, why we're not saying, well, I mean, Greg, this could be also temporary bearishness in the overarching bullish cycle. Those who are more familiar with the actual cycle, with the rhythm of the market, if you will, understand that really we are at a crossroads that we cannot push the genie back in the bottle. You know, it's kind of this Pandora's box sort of situation. More so, we see the same signs, and we've been talking about this on the monthly. It's not squeezed out. At this point, we're already squeezing the lemon's peel, basically, or there is no juice left. It's not even fumes anymore. That's it. We're kind of done. And we've been seeing these signs as we were building up, and this is part of that problematic wave that I've been talking about, which we've been arguing about from the beginning, to how long the wave will actually be. At this point, we squeezed it to death. We can actually look at it on average time frames to how long these processes take, and recognize that even to normal bullish waves, we are really squeezing this one out in terms of duration, in terms of actual change in price, sort of in terms of how much have the market appreciated. Too far, too fast, if you will. More so harmonics speak to that. More so, of course, we're looking at the 3 months, the quarterly chart, something we've mentioned before. This is far more of a bearish channel than it looks right now. At face value, it's bullish, right? But in reality, just like what we saw before, really, this is a linear tool. Thus, it's, pardon me, not showing you in a clear fashion what we're about to get. You need to be able to extrapolate and read and understand what the cycle is, and understand that this is really a visual representation of that turn around, and really how slow it is. Meaning, even on the downside, we can squeeze more bullish momentum. That's why there are particular rules to technicals, and you don't just jump out whenever you smell just a tiny fraction of bearish momentum. That's not how it works. Even during bearish waves, you can squeeze a lot of bullish momentum, right? And subsequently vice versa. By the way, remember that for when we're going to be bearish and you're going to say, well, Greg, it switched over. No, it doesn't matter. If the overarching wave, which we know why we know it's bearish, that's why. Because your 12-month, your yearly chart have been indicating for a very long time that we've been going to go for this correction. The problem with this process, it's almost like turning around a tanker, all right? You will not be able to do it on the spot, let alone you will need a lot of space to do that process. Or in the market, space is time, because space to the side is time, boys and girls. Remember, the longer this process takes, the larger this process of a turnaround happens, the longer it's going to take. That's just the natural process. More so, of course, we have all the sort of fundamental reasons we speak about in the community on a daily basis. That's going to be a good spot maybe to do a bit of a shout out. Those of you who found themselves on this live by accident and don't know who I am, or are unfamiliar with the community, we have our Discord, which now has 18,000 people and 400 closing on 19,000 very rapidly. Which we have the public partition of free to join. Of course, feel free. Make sure you confirm the rules, otherwise you'll be stuck there in the limbo partition, not really being able to enter. In fact, let me just give this a bit of a quick shout out to my to that Discord real quick. Here we go. So we have that Discord. Here is this is the amount of humans we have, not including the 4.5 bots we have. So here's the public part. Don't forget when you join to confirm the rules. Otherwise, it's this first one and only post. Otherwise, you'll be stuck. If you're a Patreon member, don't forget to go through the instructions on how to connect your accounts. Here are the instructions. We're basically going to need this one link. Just we're gonna go to Patreon, to the exact menu that you need, connect your accounts, done deal. You will be able to join the members partition. You will be then taken away from the public. right here into the members. You'll also be able to join this open forum where the gang are hanging out right now. We hang out there pretty much anytime I'm not on a one-on-one session, which I do here. Those who want to know, Mama here will probably post a bit of info about it. And yeah, that's it. That's kind of a short summary of what the Discord is. Highly recommended for everyone to join. If you want to get a little bit more preview from both Tom and I, be able to join the Zoom calls. Today we had a wonderful, one of the best Zoom calls we had in a while. It was absolute fun. Our members get to have 4 of these a month. If sometimes more so, because today we're gonna do the FOMC meeting, and so yeah, other activities and so forth. Okay, that's it. I think we ran through everything. I can go back. Yeah, this is not a big surprise. This is kind of what we were expecting yesterday. More of the same market was just a little bit more volatile. But at the end of the day, think about it. We are literally the same place where we were several days ago, right? We're testing exactly the same level. And this is why I say oftentimes, and I repeat and call this a waste of time. You see, we literally have done nothing. None of us. It doesn't matter whether you're bullish, bearish. None of us really did anything, unless you're a trader. You probably gained some money on this. Arnon, wink, wink. That's it, boys and girls. Now, questions. Now I'm going to be a little bit more attentive to the chat so we can talk a little bit, hang out, and all that great stuff. Здравствуйте, Casey. I mean, good attempt. You wrote it incorrectly-ish, but good attempt. I mean, good job, though. Здравствуйте. Добро пожаловать. You guys don't know, but like the hardest switches I have is from Hebrew to Russian. That's hard, but from English to Russian is actually rather easy for some reason. I can go back and forth pretty easily. Hebrew is the one that makes things difficult. To join the Discord, yes, absolutely. Follow the link. Nanny's there posted a link. Be sure to read the confirm the rules exactly. There you go. And be aware once you join, Tom Greg mods will not initiate DMs. Very important, very true, very correct. The staff members, the moderators will never reach out to you out of nowhere, start talking to you about brokerages or cryptocurrencies or none of that crap. Oftentimes, if we do reach out to you, it's probably when you're already prepared and you know we will. So don't fall for scammers. Very important, Mama. Thank you very much. Yeah, if you do get a DM, it's preferable to make sure, ask the community, ask us directly. You know, like make sure you are talking to the right Greg, Tom, mod admin, whoever you are talking to. So make sure these sort of things. Do you agree with Tom Lee that the volatility will last about a week? No, Leo. I think the volatility will last a lot longer. I think we are now... He is conditioning the people not already to start to capitulate, so he's kind of keeping the faith alive. And he knows he doesn't need to do much. Again, I could be wrong. I'm just, saying my opinions when it comes to the opinion thing. This is why we prefer to go through the technical analysis. Of course, things can change at any given time, blah, blah, blah. We said this many times. But to have a gigantic change on the technicals as far as to make the market go far, far higher, it's going to be enormous. It has to be enormous. Otherwise, that's just how the liquidity and how the overall market works. The market cap, if you will, of various companies and how much liquidity it requires to make a particular move. To really put in really simple terms. Do we really have that liquidity available in the market? I would argue that not. You see Tom Lee stop talking about it, but that all that money that came from money market funds, you realize this money that went into the market back then in 2020, 2019-ish, is a very unique scenario in which they recognize that everything stuck and they really felt like they're missing out. These are the most risk-averse people in the world. This is why they go with money market funds. And to tell yourselves that now in a highly oversaturated, overbought, like too hot market, right? Scalding hot, if you will, red hot, but red, yellow hot at this point. They they themselves will not see, because remember, the market is the greater fool theory game at the end of the day. And so for them to buy into the market, they need to see how there is a greater fool basically in the future who will buy from them at that potential hypothetical higher price. They are the least risk averse people. They are the people who deal with the market the least amount. They don't have time nor energy for it. So to think that they will decide in the most risky time we've ever seen in a very, very long time to jump into risk on assets, I highly doubt it. That doesn't really make any sense. Even the narrative doesn't make sense. Yeah, so that is that. Volatility has come to head for a long time. Through how about elections? The volatility will continue into earnings. Don't forget, we're gonna have the end of the year soon. It's all around the corner, guys. You're forgetting we are ahead of very long, very tedious work days, if you will, in the market. Those who, you know, take this more professionally, more seriously, understand what does that mean for us in terms of how the upcoming months will look like. Even when we don't have one thing, we have another. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot of work ahead of us, if you will. Murat is asking, hey Greg, we're gonna do with what we're gonna do with Nvidia. Your thoughts, please. I got 2K shares. I don't know what we're gonna do. I know that I am definitely gonna be waiting for Nvidia to retrace with the rest of the market as severe as it will be able to. I have my estimates of around the $40-$30 range. At this point, it is bordering on the high 30s, but that's me. That's not financial advice. It does not mean anything for you. You should decide what is right for your portfolio, for your age, for your liquidity, for your overall plan. But first of all, Murat, I'm glad you're asking on English. I'm happy. You're making my life a bit easier. Thank you. But look, again, like I said before, join us on Discord. I'll be able to expand a little bit more and tell you really kind of how I see and perceive these things, or at least make them based in reality a little bit better for you. But the perception is very simple with NVIDIA. I've given you guys the near-term supports and resistances. You already seen them play out, give or take. You already seen the 110 and, well, we might as well call it 100 show effect to some extent. I definitely wasn't wrong about that 118, as you can see. I wasn't wrong on the earnings, pre-earnings. In fact, if you watch the video before the earnings, when I said this will not result in an upside, and even when we had good earnings, somehow I ended up being right, which kind of to the logical person doesn't make sense. That's the same argument that we say the market doesn't reflect necessarily the actual value of the stock. The stock price does not reflect the value of the company, if you will. The both two can be the two can be very much unhinged from one another. So that is that. Currently, you know, the supports are S1 is 110. Our current ceiling that we are fighting against, that the 118. 110 is S1, S2 is 100, and S3 is the range between 9161 and 8704. You might as well call this 92 because with some slippage, that's call it 92. 87 you might as well call 86 and a half or even 86. Okay, just to give you kind of a logical range to that thing. That is that. All right, boys and girls. Greg is selling, Brad is saying, wait, I skipped there something. The Patreon is a super value right now at $10. Boys and girls, that's true. Those who are not in the Patreon or are not planning to become one-on-one students, which was when you become a one-on-one student, you become a lifetime member on the Discord. The $10 package is not going to be open for long. It will be reopened later at a higher price, just to be clear. It's going to be reopened later, but at a higher price. So right now, you better take advantage of it, because you get the same stuff you will get in terms of perks if you sign up at Tom's for the $20 package. Here you sign up for 10, basically 50% off, or 50% of the price, and you get, well, the same stuff and more so, actually, in a way. Also, you get to hang out with us on Discord if you want to. It's up to you. You know, there's a little. You get to participate in the giveaways and all sorts of really awesome things we do that are exclusive for the members. So that's up to you, of course. So Nanny's is 100% on point there. Greg is selling brand new Lamborghini for... No, I'm skipping again. As an Israeli, did you experience investing using Interactive Broker, or have... I actually... Excalibur? I almost signed up. I technically already signed up with Interactive Brokers. I had an account. I was just about to fund it, and I saw the platform before, and I decided, boys and girls, please don't run with the chat. It will take me just longer to get to the questions, more confusion, and I'll miss stuff. So if you see I'm getting closer, you know, so I've signed up. I was about to fund the account. I dabbled a little bit with the platform, and I found it to be just so horrible that I decided against it. More so, I already funded my bank. I already activated my trading partition in my bank account, if you will. So I was able to transfer back and forth, and it was kind of a decision of whether to have dual accounts. And then I just decided to go against it, because I found the platform to be just horrible. And on that attempt, I was already familiar with it. I've seen it, of course, before. In fact, when I used to work in the industry, I still used to, well, for institutions, I used to kind of compete with them, because most of us used to use MetaTrader 4, which in lots of ways, actually, is superior to Interactive Brokers platform. So, as an Israeli, I didn't like it. As an Israeli, I prefer, if you're an Israeli, I prefer with Bank Leumi. They are amazing in terms of service, in terms of commissions, in terms of everything, safety, availability, everything. I love my bank. They are 1000% awesome. People who complain about the banks being bad, those are people who have bad credit and issues with the bank. Don't trust these people. Okay? That's just what I'm going to tell you. Especially with Leumi. Such a great bank. Wonderful service. Tremendously good service. I mean, honestly, if I would have been able to be endorsed by them, that would have not been an endorsement I would shy away. Legitimately. I'm not even kidding. They are that good to me. I'm speaking as a client, as somebody, like, I'm not getting paid to say that. Not at all. And if I could, I would gladly. And I would highly recommend them to any Israeli who wants to go into the market, trade with the bank. Bank Leumi, mwah, chef's kiss. In fact, they open they have a division dedicated to the stock market, people who deal with the stock market, and they call you and ask you if you need any help, if you have any questions. They're just amazing. Again, nothing but good about them. Brad deleted, but yeah, Brad was reminding people about my one-on-one academy. Boys and girls, I have two spots available. If one of the spots will be taken, it's going to be taken away from the public, so I highly recommend looking into this, because once they're taken, I'm going to be locked for a while, just like before. I also have students that have taken a bit of a sabbatical due to certain things in life, and of course, I respect my students that much, and some of them will be coming back into the routine and curriculum very, very soon. So, boys and girls, be aware that these spots are not always available, and when they are, they're kind of being, abducted, taken like cupcakes. So, yeah. Yes, Greg, I do English. You're welcome. Thank you very much, Murad. I very much. My God, can speaking. I can speak English. You see what you're doing to me, Murad? It's all your fault. But thank you for speaking English, brother. I tremendously appreciate that. I send you some Russian words just for fun. Much love. No, no. I mean, I don't mind Russian. Again, I that's technically Russian is my first language. Hebrew is the second, and English is the third. Technically speaking, although it's arguable which one was the first. But yeah. 31 watching, 14 likes. Nannies, 100%. Thank you very much. Boys and girls, please, I ask of you nicely, smash the like button. That tremendously helps the channel grow. Plus, it is goddamn free. Why not? Why not? Seriously. Please like the video. I agree. Yes. I think we have a chance to go to $197, but not tomorrow. At least a few weeks. 127, 127. You talking Nvidia? What? Nvidia? I mean, what 27? 127. What are we talking about? 127 there. Because I don't think we're gonna see 127 at all. I think we're kind of, I mean, not at all, at least not for the time being. If correction will initiate as expected pretty much in the upcoming days. Or maybe it will be dragged out to election. We don't really know. We just know the technicals are screaming oversold on every metric they humanly can, or inhumanely, or whatever. So, we have that. Why is my plug down right now? What is this? Why? What is that? You opened so nicely today. What is this? This is not good. I don't like. SPX is pretty much flat. Alan, you goddamn legend. Yes. Yes. Hit the like. Very true. Arnon is not here. Can you do shop? That's gonna be the... pardon me, I have hiccups now. You see, Alan, you see what you did with your shop? You use the S word. It's not allowed. Not allowed here, brother. Chances tomorrow is a nothing burger. Greg, bread. Wonderful question, but I have to go. Nannies, you have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you for being here all this time and helping out. Thank you. You're a legend. Bye. I'll see you later. So, what are the chances that tomorrow is a nothing burger? If I really have to give it a score or a percentage or put a number on it, I would argue that there is a almost 20-ish. I'm gonna round it up to 20% that tomorrow is a nothing burger. I'm rounding it up because I'm not gonna be, too extreme about this one, trying to find a particular exact perfect point between 15. Let's call it, 16, 7. Well, let's call it 17 with a standard deviation of 3%, right? That's kind of what it's going to be. So, but if that's what regarding what I think that tomorrow is going to be a nothing burger. But remember, tomorrow could be a nothing. So, well, today could be a nothing burger, and then subsequently tomorrow could be a nothing burger. But then on the weekend, we suddenly the market will catch up, or next week even. It's not about the necessary reaction today. The market can hold longer before certain processes finalize or whatnot. It's not necessary. That's why I'm not looking on the short term as much as I'm looking on the longer term, because the longer term cannot hide what is. You cannot hide what is so big, if you will. Can you check Airbnb? Nvidia, we just checked Nvidia. There's we know Nvidia is the same prediction. 118 is the ceiling. 110 S1 support 1, support 2 is 100. S3 is the range between 9168 and 8704. It's a range, so it's not a singular point. It's kind of the whole thing. So that's Nvidia for you. And yes, we expect it to go down. In fact, it's doing as expected. I've covered Nvidia to death at this point. Boys and girls, please be attentive. And Murad, it's you wrote on Nvidia. So yeah, you were saying Nvidia. No, I don't think we're gonna do 127. No. Can you check Airbnb? Airbnb. What is there? Yeah. No, Airbnb. 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 Right. The other day I confused somehow. I confused some ALB with Baba. I mean, no, that was definitely. I was off my rocker there. That was funny though. All right, let's do Airbnb. I'm not gonna lie, I was never a fan of Airbnb. Like I never truly understood the whole Airbnb. I mean, I understood, but at the same time, I'm not a big fan. It should be more of an anyway. I'm not gonna debate the whole thing. Yeah, we can look at sub afterwards. Yeah. Oh, that's one of those fun ones, right? I mean, at first glance, that's already does not look good for you right there. So yeah, of course, we're not gonna have. Um, I'll tell you what. It looks a bit problematic from first glance, so I would assess it if anything is gonna go down in the mid-term duration, if you will. It has some bullish momentum to it, but the question is how much. You almost have to question the story of it, right? The fundamental story. How well will Airbnb be doing in a recessionary time? How much people will be able to afford vacations and that sort of leisure, non-discretionary spending of other sorts. Um, uh, do, 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 do. What did I miss? No. Okay, so I didn't know. So yeah, it's gonna be a roller coaster for you, but at the end of it all, I think sadly it will result with a downtrend, with an unpleasant downtrend right there. Why is my tool not working? Yeah, so it is. Yeah, you're starting to build up that negative momentum. It's breaking into a negative wedge, which I'm currently able to put it somewhere around like this. It's actually pretty much within the corner of it. You can almost see it this way. And that's what you're gonna be doing. Well, if that makes any sense, kind of thing, until it breaks down either or either, right? That's kind of as we go. The fun thing is with this one, it looks like it's gonna do something like this. It's gonna be so unpleasant because you have all this bullish momentum, but at the end of the day, you are bearish. So it's a mix. I would argue that your support that you want to see hold or break in this instance to confirm any movement is to see the continuation of this process, how it's going to play out. And if you do break below 114, be very attentive, because that might be the change of direction for you. Because if you are attentive to the overarching trend, it has been going down all along. It just has been squeezing to death what the market wants you to squeeze, right? See? So this also plays into this. They're kind of, they go in tandem there. Let's see what else. Don't trust people who are bad. Absolutely, Gene. That is so correct. You know what? And I'm not gonna tell. I'm not. You know what the funny thing is, Gene? What you're about your remark? It's not like I was never in debt. Gene here knows. Gene is a student and a friend of mine. I openly spoke to him. I had that as well. I had hard times. I fell in hard times in life as well. Even in my hard times, I couldn't say a single bad word about the bank, and I was still on good terms with them. Just gonna say that literally. That is just. I mean, that's hilarious. Like, how bad of a human being you have to be to have bad conditions with a bank? Ask yourself that. And the bank is the bank. The bank is there to make money. It's not going to lie to you to make you feel as if it's some altruistic organization here to save your ass. Which is, at least that's what you want to hear. The truth. I'm a big fan of the truth. Big, big, big fan of the truth. And people who are truth speakers. Every family is supposed to have one of these, hypothetically. Or every other family, at least. Gold, silver. We covered that yesterday, Chris. You know that. You know my thoughts on gold. Gold overarching, good. Why? Quantum computing. Why? Because application. Rise or cut and get out. Chris, talk to me. Come to Discord. Talk to me about. I told you, please stop it. Talk to me on commodities. It's a very complex topic. You really need to understand. It's a very, very complex topic. I'll be glad to share with you my thoughts. Come to Discord and let yourself known. DM me. We're gonna hang out. It's gonna be fun, and I'll tell you all my thoughts on gold and silver. Overarching thesis on precious metals and commodities in general is bullish currently. Overarching, being very clear. But at the end of the day, you need to do you, Chris. You do what you think is right. I can only tell you what I think about these things, what I see more so. And maybe have some of my thoughts, my 2 cents on this. But then you do what you think is right. Don't trust people who are the bank. We said that. Yeah, everyone. Yeah. Oh, wait. I missed that again? I'm reading again. I missed this from before. I'm a freaking moron. I'm a moron. Hit the like. Yes, Nanny's posted the stuff again. Can you check Airbnb? We did that. Nvidia, we've said, you said that was Murat about the previous. You look at Sava. Here we are at Sava. We said Sava. Let's do Sava. Sava. Wait, what? Okay, sorry. Thought I might have opened the wrong thing. Right, let's do Sava. I've been wrong and screwed up. Not their fault. Exactly. You see how the responsible people will always admit that it was our fault, from the get-go. Never blame the banks, none of that crap. Yeah, absolutely. Brad, I'll buy your gold. What? Brad just heard gold. Yeah, somebody woke up Brad. Brad heard gold. Very good, Brad. Very good. Very smart. When we get mentioned on the commodities, specifically when you mention. Okay, is there a way we get mentored on the commodities, specifically when you mention? And what do you mean, Shen? Shen? Shzen? No, because you have the technicals mentor. Well, yes. Well, look, that's a very good question, actually, Shzen. Look, the way it works is, if you want, I can do the technical mentoring, right? The module 1, which is the fundamental module that everybody needs. It's like the driver's license. Doesn't matter whether you're a taxi driver, drive all day, whether you're somebody who drives once a year, month, or whether you're a race car driver. All of the above need a Shazam, yeah, right. I almost said Shazam, but I was like, no, it's not Shazam. So everybody needs a driver's license. Everybody needs to know technicals. So, but if you want to then expand and know a little bit more about commodities, I can offer you like this one unique deal that you're gonna have the technical lessons and then maybe two extra lessons on assets on commodities, which that will give you enough of a foundation to start off of. And then if you want to expand, of course, we can talk about module number 2. But first you cannot become a race car driver without doing the race, without having a license, if you will, and learning furthermore, right? You have to go through this in stages. So yeah, and I used to trade oil, gold back in the day. CFD form, that was the best and quickest for me. Regulated company, of course. The one, Shzen, get in touch with me in the Discord, DM me, and we will be able to talk about it. Remember, I have only 2 spots, so don't miss out on this. I will be able to set you up with like this almost unique curriculum. It's just going to be the regular module 1 and then a couple of extra lessons that will lead into how you deal particularly with commodities. Let's see what now. There's commodity threads on Discord. It's not new, it's old new. We used to have it, but now we had to reset it due to some mess, but now we have it back. Them sound decent. Absolutely get in touch with me on the Discord and we can proceed from there. I'm gonna try with driver's license. When I read these sort of messages that the Eugene writes, I'm already afraid to read the rest of them out loud. A fifth of something hard, cut up my license and get behind the wheel. Go hard or go home. All right. Let me do Sava. Otherwise, we're gonna be stuck on this forever. Hey, I want to add that to my curriculum to Greg. We can do that with you, Brad. No problem. We can do that with you. Okay. Just remember, since we already have a curriculum set up, we're going to have to figure that one out, but no worries. That's not going to be a big problem. I almost skipped Sava. Okay, so let's do Sava. Sava, we said, let's look at Sava. Sava, what does Sava do for us? Dividend, Sava? Looks like it smells like a dividend. No dividend. Why do you smell like a dividend stock, but you're not a dividend stock? How is that a thing? Okay, so you have upside on this clearly. I would argue that, of course, the market is trying to conquer your median right now. If it's going to conquer it, you're going to go overbought. You're going to go this. That obviously is your range. It is give or take here. You can see it, which makes sense. Going to put you into that wedge right there. I'm going to go do this, I think, eventually. Doesn't matter whether it's going to be straightforward or first, test, maybe even test. No, well, I got carried away. I had too much space. Like that kind of thing, right? Like, not going to be surprised if that's going to be your case or scenario, or maybe even sort of squeeze into here, another test on the top side, and only then that upside that I'm presenting into that wedge. So you actually have here something bullish. Yeah. You actually have here something bullish. Yeah, like I said, you're probably it's not gonna be straightforward, of course. Like nothing is, but you're gonna be bullish. It looks bullish. Your current resistance is around, what is that, 33, 34, I see, on your way up. This is actually bullish. This is the only bullish thing we've seen in quite a while. Let me just be sure about this for a sec. Don't overstay. I think, okay, based upon this, when you're going to make that 75, that's when you're going to peak out, I think, and it's going to break. Also, don't wait precisely to 75 and be prepared to jump out earlier than actually 75, if that makes any sense to you. You understand what I'm saying? That's a bit of a... Wait, it is a dividend stock originally. I knew, you see? Yeah, I immediately knew. This smells like a dividend stock. It's too sideways-ish. It's a very wide channel. I see what's the shtick here. It's a very wide channel, like I said. So this is upside. Catch up with me later, but you actually have upside. I mean, that's the only one thing we've seen clear upside in a while. That's it. That's your Sava, brother. That is your Sava. Again, not straightforward. You're still going to have pain in the system as you go. It's not going to be straightforward. Remember, right? That means you might actually going to be able to pick up 1/3 down. So, yeah. Not necessarily that low. It doesn't have to be. It might retain maybe that bearish, what you're seeing that's going to come through, what it will do for you, it will retain that top trend, right? That top support, if you will, and with some slides downwards, like what we have with Tesla, and only then break up. Maybe it will actually do this one. Like I said, catch up with me on this one a little bit later, because on the upcoming weeks, it's going to be necessarily, like, there's a volatility in the upcoming weeks. Okay, but overarching, not bad. Not bad, Brad. Not bad. Why? Because your larger ones are actually positive. And they still have time to run. And it's a dividend asset. And I know this might be confusing, but we know that. Actually, you know, guys, this is the opposite of what we're seeing on the S&P. Like, look, this is actually an uptrend. You see? It doesn't mean it's going to be just to the moon, but it's going to be, you know, testing up and down until it gets, sorry, into overbought, and then it's, yeah, Brad. Good find. There we go. We actually have a decent find right there. Sava is not all that bad. Not just straight to the moon, right? There is some downside to be had there, so don't panic when you see 25, for example. Easy. You know, maybe even 20s. Or high 20s, like 21, 22. No, not high 20s, sorry. Low 20s, but high on the low end. Toda rabba. Oh my god. Oh shit. Brad, toda rabba. Wow, wow, wow. That's it. Brad went for full Jewish. They got him too. Brad, now that you're Jewish, you should be receiving your. You know how everybody likes to claim the Jews control the world? Now that you're Jewish, you will be receiving your password to controlling the world soon. Welcome to the club, brother. Yeah. Don't forget. Be very careful. With great power, with great comes great responsibility. You know. Remember. We run the world. No, that's the ladies. You got it wrong. Running the world, that's ladies. They make the world run around like headless chickens. What are we doing? We're doing it's. Don't be fooled. This is sideways. This is bullshit. So what if we're a little bit below the line? It's still this. It's just sideways. We're waiting. We still have roughly about 2 hours to go. So. Boys and girls, what are we doing? What are we looking at? We knew that will happen. That's not a surprise for us. We're testing these levels. Big whoop. Yes, my cat is in disagreement with me. Microsoft. Apple is up today. What the hell is this? What is this? What is this? What is this nonsense? What is this? Go down, I said. Go down. Brett, take care of it. I'm busy. You have your control the world password. Do the thing. No, Michael. Yeah, you don't know. We run the world. That's the ladies. Control the world is the Jews. It's you know two different things. Happy Wednesday, Danny. Happy Wednesday. Hello, 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 hello. Good to see you. Password is banana one. Absolutely. No, but banana one. That's like that was the first Jew. You're supposed to get like a banana. Very very long number. Yours is gonna be like super long. You're gonna have a super long banana. I hope I'm not gonna get punished for that comment. That's just funny. I'm on Mr. On the World page yesterday. Yeah. Michael, if you're Jewish, you also apparently you missed the meeting. You get a special password, control the world, and stuff like that. Vex is up with a gap, so it's gonna clear the gap, obviously. Left over, we cleared most of it. Probably towards the end of the session, after it all subsides, maybe tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see, but this is definitely not gonna be left for long. Just like we said about this one, and it got closed, as you see. Yeah, Intel's definitely giving everything back. No surprise there. Like we said, it's a good foundational piece. Although Tom doesn't like it, so I'm not gonna. Yeah. All right, boys and girls. Think we need to run because we run the world, right? Because we have many more meetings today to have, and I need to get stuff done before we get to the following meetings. I'm sure you guys, boys and girls, have stuff to do before with the meetings later today. We're not yet sure whether we're gonna have a live, not gonna have a live. We don't know. Anyway, we will figure that stuff out. Just quickly before we end this. For those who have not heard me say like, subscribe, ring the bell a million times so far and is not fed up with this, nor is a regular in the community, you should do that. Highly recommended. Love you all. See you on the next live. Or actually, no, I see you tomorrow, later today, and then only then tomorrow in the live. So see you later, boys and girls. Bye-bye.